What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Res Up Rundown. And if you're new here, welcome. I do, first off, want to apologize for missing a video last Tuesday. I was supposed to upload, but something came up, so I just felt that it was best to save the next video of Res Up Rundown for this Friday. I do apologize about that, but it is Friday now, and here's the new video. And in this video, we have a really cool topic to go over, and that is the Falcons actually have an opportunity to build a Super Bowl team within just one offseason. And the best part is that the one offseason means the 2022 offseason. And you also are probably like, what are you talking about? Because look at our roster. We have a long way to go. Our defense, from secondary to defensive line, it's really far away from being good. And look at the cap space. We don't have a lot of money. Like, I get it, but it's actually not as bad as it might seem. And before we get into why I think that is, I do kind of want to first off address how different the NFL is nowadays, and that the Falcons actually have a chance to adapt to that pretty quickly. I noticed something different in today's NFL. Building a Super Bowl team, or at least a very good playoff team, actually doesn't really work the way it used to. And what I mean by that is, back then, I feel like you kind of had to just save money and get good players here and there in free agency. And for the most part, you had to just draft really well throughout the years, and it would take like 4 or 5 years to get a good team. But nowadays, things have changed, and we're seeing a lot of front offices become a little more aggressive and basically spend every dime that they have on any great experienced player ever. And they still draft smartly in the draft, but overall, they're becoming a little more aggressive, and they're trying to do it in just 1 to 2 years. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They said, okay, Jameis Winston, it was nice knowing you, but this isn't going to work. So they literally spent pretty much every dime that they had on Tom Brady, and obviously, of course, that meant every other player was interested. Like, oh, Tom Brady's in the Sunshine State with the beaches and palm trees, and he's actually still got a lot of talent on that roster. I want to join. So the Buccaneers acknowledged that, and they picked up Rob Gronkowski and Leonard Fournette, and you get the idea, and they, in their favor, did win a Super Bowl. And then, look at the Los Angeles Rams. They spent every freaking dime they have on really good players. They were like, Jared Goff, it was nice knowing you. Thank you for a Super Bowl run in 2018, but this isn't going to work out. So they decide to get rid of him, and they just get Matt Stafford. And then everyone around them was like, oh, they have Matt Stafford, they have Aaron Donald, they have, like the Sunshine State, they have palm trees and beaches. I want to be a little more around that. And so the Rams acknowledge that, and they pick up Von Miller and Odell Beckham, and now look at them, they have a chance of winning a Super Bowl. And then look at other teams that I'll explain really quickly. Arizona Cardinals, they did have a great draft by getting Kyler Murray and company, but everyone did realize how good he was, and they were like, oh, they have Kyler Murray. And they also have a pretty, somewhat talented team around them, and Phoenix is cool, I guess, so why not go to them? And then the Cardinals acknowledged that. So they got J.J. Watt, and they got DeAndre Hopkins, and they got A.J. Green, and they got James Conner, and now they're building some sort of good team. And last but not least, and this is the team I don't really want to talk about how good they handled this, but to their credit, they did, the New Orleans Saints. They said Drew Brees is getting older, and he's going to retire pretty soon, so we should build a team like now. So they had this magical draft, and of course Drew Brees is going to work his hardest, and then everyone else was like, oh, they got Drew Brees, and they drafted well, so why don't we just go there? And so the Saints acknowledged it, and despite the fact that they have absolutely no money, they found a way to get those players with basically no money. You get the idea. These teams are finding ways to be good within just an offseason or two. And the Falcons have a chance to be just like them And here's reason number one. One, they actually have a general manager that is pretty familiar with working around the cap space that they have. The Falcons don't have a lot of cap space. Whatever. Like, the Bucks and the Saints and the Rams, like, they're all proving cap space is not literally a myth, but it feels like it. Like, we have a general manager that has a chance to just work with the money that he's got. There is a famous saying that I really, really like, and I kind of try to implement every day. It's hard to, but it's possible. There's a saying that goes, instead of saying, I can't afford this, say, how can I afford this? And I bet that's what most of these general managers are thinking. They might look at the money they got and they're like, okay, like, whatever. Let's find a way to afford this. And Terry Fontenot is pretty familiar with that. He's worked with Mickey Loomis and the Saints. So we have a general manager that is pretty familiar with working around that money. The second reason is because Arthur Smith has created an amazing culture. I preach about this every single time, but it's true. Like, I feel the Falcons built a good culture, and it's much better than it was with Dan Quinn. And I know everyone's like, oh, but Dan Quinn got the brotherhood in and, you know, whatnot. Maybe the early stages of Dan Quinn's career, there was a good, you know, brotherhood going on, but later on, it's safe to say it was not the same. After that Super Bowl loss, I felt like no player really wanted to be there. There was no energy. No one got excited. Nothing. Well, when Arthur Smith came in, I saw all these players like congratulating each other and dancing with each other, having fun. And if something went wrong, they went to, you know, just cheer each other up. I saw every single part of that, and that was missing in the late stages of Dan Quinn's career in Atlanta. And obviously, teams are going to appreciate that. They're going to look at this and be like, oh, Arthur Smith and Matt Ryan are, you know, they're not in this loser mentality, and they are in Atlanta, the big booming city right now. Why not just go there? Like, everyone wants to go where the winners are. It's just how it works. Matt Ryan and Arthur Smith think like winners. So, there's that. And then reason number three is because, honestly, everything kind of just fell in our favor this year. Because if we're looking for defense, we have a chance to just draft whoever the frick we need in just one draft, because this is an amazing defensive draft. We might just be the 2017 Saints, where they kind of just drafted that frickin' well and it worked. We could draft all these great, amazing defensive players and it might just work. And then there's a lot of great offensive players like Devontae Adams coming into free agency, and well, we kind of need some help on offense as well. So I would say the free agency is kind of leaning more towards offense and the defense in the draft, if that makes any sense. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's just kind of how I feel at the moment, I guess. But anyway, that was probably a bit of a controversial but fun episode to go over. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you guys with the video this Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate you all for the support. And as always, res up.